Hi everyone, I'm Mendi Corcoran. I'm the president of the Faith Always Wins Foundation, and I'm here to introduce you to our U Day, which is the 5th day of 7 Days 2020. And in a little while, you're going to understand why I'm holding this orange. So hold tight for what we have coming up. Thank you so much for participating today and sharing some of your Saturday with us. We are going to be trying to help you mind, body, and spirit. You're going to hear from groups of people, and you're also going to hear from several individuals who will encourage you to be a better you. And that's what we want from you today. You will also hear 2 interviews that I actually did with 2 of our charities. We have 14 charities that are partnered with 7 Days Make a Ripple Change the World. And our U Day charities are the Spencer C. Duncan Make It Count Foundation and the Metropolitan Organization to Combat Sexual Assault. Many of us know that charity to be MOXA. Dr. Tereza Hubkova, an integrative medicine physician, will talk to us about building a healthy immune system. Think orange. And finally, we'll wrap the morning up with a yoga session, and that is led by Mendi Eskew. It's going to help us all relax and reflect.
Thank you, Mendi. I'm Prakya Kakamanu, a member of 7 Days KYLT and a youth co-chair of U Day. We are so excited about what we have planned for today. The Spencer C. Duncan Make It Count Foundation was created in memory of Army Specialist Spencer C. Duncan, whose life was taken in action on August 6, 2011. It is the foundation's desire to honor his spirit and sacrifice and allow his life to continue to count for others. Donations made to the foundation change the lives of veterans in all kinds of ways, through book scholarships, entrepreneurship programs, experiential seminars, and actual meeting of physical needs for meals and basic services. For more information or to make a donation, visit makeitcounttoday.org. Now, here's Mendi Corcoran with a special interview.
Well, so we unfortunately have similar stories, and we have that in common as well. So Megan, tell us who you are and how you're associated with the Spencer C. Duncan Foundation.
Well, my name is Megan Duncan. My son, Spencer Duncan, was killed in action in Afghanistan on August 6, 2011. He was the door gunner on a Chinook helicopter that was doing a special ops mission. They were shot down, and everyone on board was killed. There were 30 Americans, 1 military working dog, and 7 Afghan nationals. So our lives, Spencer was our oldest child. He was 21. Our lives turned completely upside down. As you well know, it's not a new normal because there's nothing ever normal again. It's just a paradigm shift, basically. Shortly after Spencer was killed, when I was still in the throes of wanting to just curl up in the fetal position and, not do anything. But my husband, Dale, is a person of action, and he kind of dragged me back into reality. And we decided to form the Spencer C. Duncan Make It Count Foundation. Make it count is what Dale used to say to our boys every day before he left to go to work. And just kind of a reminder that, we've got this moment in time, and that's all we have. That's all we're promised anyway, or that's just it. That's our reality. So he was really intentional about trying to make the boys understand to be intentional. And that became sort of our family mantra, so to speak.
Yeah, it definitely is a paradigm shift. I like those words, paradigm shift. So, tell us how many years have you had the 5K, and then what do you do with the funding? Who do you reach out to? I mean, I know you said veterans, but how do you find them and how do they find you?
Right. Good question. So this year will be our 9th annual Spencer C. Duncan Make It Count 5K. We started in 2012, which was, 1 year after Spencer was killed, we were doing this 5K. And I have to say, more than anything else, it's been our volunteers and friends who have carried us through. We have a very strong faith, but as well, the people who have come alongside us and propped us up and made us do this. amazing group of volunteers. So we have reached out. We just we were making this up as we went along, basically. My passion is education, and Dale's passion, his passion is post-traumatic stress for our veterans and some relief from that, and also homelessness. It seems just ridiculous that we have veterans who have served our nation who don't have homes. It's mind-boggling. So we kind of started there, and we have grown. We've given away to date over $700,000 to different organizations, mostly in the Kansas City area. We can't change everything, but we can change something. And so that's kind of what we tried to do, is just focus on what were our passions, what were things that we really wanted to see if we could do something about, and that we started there and have kind of moved on from that.
So tell us how you do see that you've made a difference. What is one area where you know you've moved the needle and you want to go back to it, or now you are going to change? Or, I mean, how do you know that you move the needle, and what is so satisfying, when you do that?
When we get a letter from a student veteran who says, that $500 kept me in school this semester, and then that person graduates the nursing program at Johnson County Community College, and then that's changed the trajectory of that person's family, not just that immediate need that they had, for that money so that they could stay in school, but also for, their family completely. He was the first college graduate in his family. He is now a nurse, and now full circle, here he is on front lines in this fight we have against this pandemic. So, I mean, that's really satisfying to know that even just that one person, that we changed that person's life. And to see those people, you see the change in their lives, and you know that you've made a difference in it because of your son. And I would give anything to have Spencer back, but we're not going to have him back. So the next best thing is to seeing him continue to influence and impact our community and our worlds. And
yeah, that is beautiful. And that's make a ripple change the world. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's great. And you all have, what you do fits so well with what we do, and just helping humanity one person at a time. And I love that that person in particular, that veteran in particular, who helped finish school and he became a medical professional, and you know that, and that is so satisfying. And I know what you mean. I would give anything to have Reed back and my dad, but we sit in reality and we go, okay, how do we fill our bucket and fill our heart when we don't have that? We have to paradigm shift.
Right.
Like
right. Exactly.
So Megan, how is COVID-19 making an impact on the Spencer C. Duncan Foundation and maybe the battle within as well? I don't know if you can speak to that in particular, but what changes are you making or not making, or, can you address the impact of COVID-19 to you all?
Sure. Well, I will say that our run is in August every year. We have it the first Saturday of every year because that's the time of year when Spencer was killed. And running in August in Kansas, who doesn't want to do that? Yeah. Although I have to say, hand to God, we've had really great weather almost every single year. So that's pretty amazing. But yeah. I will say that thus far, we have not made a call on, I know there are several other runs that in the Kansas City area that have had to switch to virtual run only, or they've completely canceled their run. And we haven't made that call yet. We feel like August is far enough out that we stand a real good chance of being able to go ahead and hold our run. We keep monitoring the situation, obviously, and we'll continue to monitor that. And for those who are isolated, I'm isolating in my warm house, my warm, dry house with my dogs and my husband who's working from home. And we have an adult child and his wife who are living with us. Just coincidentally, they moved in to try to save money to buy a house. And so I have people, I know people that don't. And I would say, just remain hopeful. We will get through this. We are resilient and brilliant, and we will get through this. And in the meantime, try to figure out a way that you can reach out to other people. You know, here's something I know about veterans, and this is, to me, the most amazing thing is you can't help one veteran without helping a bunch more, because they always, always, always reach back their hand to help the next person in line. And I think that's a great thing to keep in mind. Help one person, you're helping another. That's make a ripple, you know, that's the way it works.
That is beautiful. And that's a great way to end. That really is very beautiful. So that's good. So Megan, thank you. Thanks for today.
Thank you. And let's try to meet up for an actual, actual non-virtual hug.
Okay, we will try to do that. And if not, if it lasts a long time, we'll have a virtual coffee.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. All right. Well, Megan, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, I'm Abby, another member of 7Days KYLT and Youth Co-Chair for U-Day. The Spencer C. Duncan interview was wonderful. What an amazing foundation and cause. Please remember to visit their website, makeitcounttoday.org, for more information and ways to get involved. Now to introduce our keynote speaker is AdventHealth Shawnee Mission Vice President of Network Development, Robin Harold.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Tereza Hubkova. As AdventHealth Shawnee Mission was embarking on the creation of the Center for Whole Health, we knew that we needed a physician that would help us be at the intersection of integrative and holistic medicine with the brand of a traditional healthcare provider such as AdventHealth. And we found that with Tereza Hubkova. Tereza is educated in medical school in the Czech Republic. She has a residency in the United States in internal medicine and has worked for the last 11 years at the Canyon Ranch in the Berkshires, studying and taking care of people with holistic and integrative medicine practice. We're thrilled to have her here as the medical director for the Center for Whole Health at AdventHealth Shawnee Mission.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you all for having me here today. I'm really excited to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, which is our immune health. And as you will see, it's very much interlinked with everything else about your body, including your brain health. And that is not just when it comes to immune system, but every other aspect of your health really depends on the intersection of genes, environment, and your lifestyle. You can put the next slide. So our genes haven't really changed for thousands of years, and yet we have now epidemics of many diseases, epidemic of obesity, epidemic of diabetes, epidemic of allergies, epidemic of autoimmune diseases. Now every second American has either allergies or autoimmune disease or some other problem with their immune system. And at the same time, we also have epidemic of mental health disorders like anxiety, depression, autism. And one has to wonder, if our genes haven't changed, why do we have all these disorders? And the obvious answer is, if genes haven't changed, what has changed in our environment and what has changed in our lifestyle in the past several decades that may have led to these epidemics? When our lifestyle, unfortunately, is more indoors, we are less active, Western diet plays a huge role, but there have been also many changes in our environment. We have problems with pollution that is pervasive, and it's coming back to us like a boomerang, unfortunately, affecting negatively the gene expression of some negative genes that are bringing on these disorders, and negatively affecting our immune system as well. Next slide, please. I wonder if you have heard about the hygiene hypothesis, but the hygiene hypothesis has been postulated already several decades ago in England, where researchers noticed that children who grew up on farms and therefore were kind of less clean, they oftentimes had more siblings, they had runny noses, they were around animals, eating dirt, that those children had healthier immune systems and they had less conditions like hay fever, as opposed to children who were raised in a bubble, so to speak, somewhere in the city, where the moms with all best intentions were keeping everything clean with antimicrobial wipes and antimicrobial soaps, that the absence of exposure to germs from the environment in childhood actually made those children more likely to have immune problems in the future. So the hygiene hypothesis suggests that we need certain exposure to germs for our immune system to develop in a healthy way. We need, especially as children, to be around other children with runny noses and sore throats and infections. Next slide, please. And as it turns out, it's not just about the exposure to germs from other children or from the environment. For us to have healthy immune systems, we also have to have the right bacteria inside of us, in our intestines, and that is our microbiome. I wonder how many of you are aware that we have more microbes in our bodies than even our own human cells. So we really are super organisms. For each human cell, we have about 10 microbes. And for our 23,000 human genes, we have about 8 to 9 million of bacterial and viral genes in our body. So we are really vastly outnumbered by microorganisms. And many of them live in our intestines. And they have many important roles for us. Sometimes we call the microbiome as another organ, the forgotten organ. Oftentimes we forget about it. But one of its many roles is that the microbes in our intestines constantly communicate to our immune system. And a big part of our immune system is in the intestines. At least 70, maybe even 80% of our immune system is in the intestines. And the microbes that live in our intestines communicate with that immune system and teach it who's the friend, who's the foe, and fine-tune it throughout our lives so that our immune system would be healthy. If our microbiome, if these microbes in our intestines are not in a good shape, then this teaching of the immune system does not happen properly, and we may suffer from immune disorders as a result. Now, how do the microbes get into our intestines in the first place in a baby? How does the baby get microbes in their body? Well, hopefully, if the baby was born as nature intended, vaginally, the baby would have gotten exposed to the bacteria from their mom at birth. So as baby goes through the vaginal canal, it tends to be messy. The baby swallows the vaginal fluid. It gets in the baby's nose. They breathe it in. It gets in their lungs. They swallow it. It gets in their tummies. And that's how it's supposed to be. Immediately, those microbes from the mom start interacting with the baby's immune system. And that's how it's supposed to be. Now, unfortunately, we see more and more children born by C-section. And that changes this whole situation. C-section happens in a surgical suit where everything was sterilized, and now the baby does not come to the world with the same kind of dose of microbiome from their moms. Don't panic if you have children born by C-section. Hopefully they later caught up by being breastfed, but if you compare children who were born vaginally to children who were born C-section, the children with C-section have a handicap in their immune system, and they tend to have more health issues as a result. The other important part for our microbiome is to be breastfed. Breast milk does not just contain nutrients for the baby, it actually contains many nutrients that are important for the microbiome that the baby cannot digest. It's for the bacteria in the baby's belly. So when children are not breastfed, that is another negative hit on their microbiome, and their microbiome may not be as healthy as a result. And then, of course, another hit could be if the child was exposed to antibiotics. So each time we take antibiotic, it is not just killing the strep that we took it for or the ear infection. Unfortunately, it is like dropping a bomb on the microbiome as well, and we are killing many of these good bacteria with negative consequences for our immune system. So the first 2 years of our lives are really crucial for how healthy our immune system will be for the rest of our life. the microbiome is kind of developing and settling in the first 2 years of life. And I just want to make an appeal for any future parents that they do their best to have child born vaginally as nature intended, unless it's absolutely necessary to have C-section, that the child is breastfed if at all possible, and then minimize unnecessary antibiotics. Sometimes antibiotics, of course, can save life, and it's one of the greatest inventions. If we have strep throat or pneumonia, antibiotic may save our life, but we know, unfortunately, that way too often we use them unnecessarily. Possibly 2 out of 3 antibiotics were used for no good reason, for viral infections, and then it doesn't help, but in fact can hurt because of the negative impact on the microbiome, which then causes future weakening of the immune system. So as an adult, you cannot change how you were born. You cannot change if you were breastfed or if you were receiving antibiotics when you were a child, but you certainly have control over what you eat for your rest of your life. And diet is one of the biggest contributors to how healthy our microbiome will be. So the types of foods that our microbiome likes, that the microbes like in our intestines, are plants and foods with fiber. But besides feeding our microbiome, we also want to eat the foods that are good to our immune system. And that means foods with certain nutrients and vitamins. Vitamin A, and here are some of the foods that are rich in vitamin A, like sweet potatoes. A lot of the foods that have orange and yellow colors have vitamin A, like squashes and the bell peppers. But also dairy products, meat has vitamin A, especially liver. Liver is very rich in vitamin A. I remember as a child, my mom was always forcing us to have liver every so often, and we hated it, but it's a very good source of vitamin A. So vitamin A is important for many things in our body, but one of them is maintaining the integrity of our surfaces, including mucous membranes. So those are the linings of our mouth and the nasal cavities, but it's also important for our skin. So if we don't have good integrity of our skin or mucous membranes, bacteria or viruses can more easily enter our body and we are more susceptible to infection. So make sure that you have plenty of foods with vitamin A in your diet to have healthy skin, healthy mucous membranes, and that's like the first line of defense against infections, including viruses. Next slide. Another vitamin that is very important for our immune system is vitamin C, which luckily is found in a lot of fruits and vegetables. Here you have some examples: citrus fruits, kiwi, that's a powerhouse of vitamin C, red bell peppers. But unfortunately, sometimes if we just cook our food, the high temperature can destroy vitamin C. So it's estimated that quite a bit of Americans are low in vitamin C. And vitamin C is helping us to be more resilient against upper respiratory infections. It usually makes them less frequent. If they happen, they are less severe. We are less likely to develop pneumonia if we have good vitamin C. So make sure you eat plenty of fresh foods, including raw foods, so you get the vitamin C. Vitamin D, I call it sunshine vitamin, and it really should not even be called vitamin. It's more like a hormone because it affects just about every tissues in your body. Sorry, I'll just start over. So vitamin D, I call a sunshine vitamin because we make it in our skin when we are exposed to sunshine. And many of us don't get enough sunshine because we spend our time indoors. And even if we go outside, we tend to put sunscreen on, which blocks the formation of vitamin D. Plus, if you live north of Atlanta, the angle of sun, especially after October, maybe up until May, is just not strong enough to make a lot of vitamin D. We get some from foods like fish, eggs, dairy can be fortified with vitamin D. Mushrooms actually have some vitamin D, but many of us still will need some vitamin D supplements, especially over the winter. And vitamin D is more like a hormone. It affects almost every tissue in our body. It affects our brain. If we don't have enough vitamin D, we can be tired. If we don't have enough vitamin D, it can negatively impact lining of our arteries. We may be more prone to heart disease. Without vitamin D, our bones are not as healthy, and we are more likely to develop osteoporosis or fractures. But it's also important for our immune system. And if our vitamin D is low, we are much more likely to catch colds, but also develop cancer. So vitamin D is absolutely crucial for our immune system. And studies have shown that when people are low in vitamin D and then they are given vitamin D supplements, they can lower the frequency of upper respiratory infections by as much as 70%. I mean, that's a huge, huge benefit of vitamin D. You don't want to overdo it. It's a vitamin that unfortunately could be overdone. It's fat soluble, so you could overdose. So make sure that if you take vitamin D supplements, that you follow your doctor's advice in terms of the dose and that you don't take too much. But I usually aim for a blood level around 40 nanograms per ml. And I think it's a very smart thing to check your blood level when you go for your physical every single year. Low vitamin D levels have been also associated with more autoimmune diseases. So that's another reason to make sure your vitamin D is in great shape. So we can go to next. Zinc is another nutrient that our immune system needs. When it comes to viruses, zinc minimizes their ability to replicate, so they are less likely to reproduce. And zinc is found primarily in seafood, but also in liver. Here is an example of beef liver, in nuts and some beans. There is some vitamin Z in greens, green leafy vegetables, eggs. Oysters are probably one of the biggest sources of zinc. So again, make sure you have this in your diet. Some people may benefit from zinc supplements, but that's something you should do with your physician, as if you take too much, again, it could be dangerous. And then if you want your immune system to work well, there are many foods that we should avoid, even if it's tempting and comforting to eat them. Our immune system will not be thankful if you do, and that's sugar and processed foods. You may know perhaps some people from your environment who suffer from diabetes. When their diabetes is not under good control, they tend to get more infections. If they have wounds, the wounds don't heal very well. So that's because the elevated blood sugar tends to perpetuate inflammation. It interferes with our ability to heal. Pneumonia tends to be more severe, etc. So it's very important to be mindful of your blood sugar. But even if you don't have diabetes, when you are getting sick, just stay away from sugary foods. Processed foods contain a lot of fat that promotes inflammation. Partially hydrogenated fat or omega-6 fatty acids from vegetable oils, and those can make inflammation more severe. So I would advise to do your best to stay away from processed foods and really just eat whole foods as nature prepared them for us, and cook your own meals. That way your immune system will be much healthier. Alcohol is another beverage that suppresses our immune system. So especially during these times, some people may reach for alcohol, but it's not the best idea if you want to minimize your chances of getting COVID or any other infection. So I'll cycle back to the fact that we have unfortunately done a number on our environment, and we have been using indiscriminately a lot of chemicals for many decades that have now been discovered to have negative impact on our health, and they are called endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptors really mean that these chemicals impact our endocrine system. They impact our hormones, and sometimes they can mimic some hormones like estrogen and cause or contribute to things like breast cancer. But it has been discovered recently that these endocrine disruptors do not just disrupt our hormones, that they have also a very negative impact on our immune system, and that they also have negative impact on our brain. Whenever you change hormones, it's going to have an effect on brain. You probably observed it if you have teenagers, when their hormones start changing, how much it changes their behavior and sometimes their mood. Or women around menopause, oftentimes they notice that the changes in hormone will have very dramatic effect on their mood. They may be irritable or depressed. So imagine if we are bombarded with so many chemicals from our environment, from pesticides or plastics or even cosmetics that mimic our hormones and disturb them, how it then can also affect our brain health and our behavior, as well as affecting our immune system. I would highly recommend that you use this time to learn a little bit more about some of these chemicals. A great website is Environmental Working Group, EWG.org, where you can learn about which foods have the least amount of pesticides. They are called the Clean 15. And which foods have the most amount of pesticides. They are called the Dirty Dozen. And once you learn it, just put it on autopilot. Don't stress about it too much, but just buy the foods that are the Clean 15 if you buy conventional food. And if they are the Dirty Dozen, then it's better spending more money and get the organic version. So with infections, including COVID, there are people who are more at risk than others. And those are people who have diabetes, with COVID, people who have high blood pressure, people who have obesity seem to be at higher risk, as well as people who are older because their immune system is weaker. We cannot change our aging, we get old no matter what, but we certainly can change our health through our lifestyle. And it doesn't necessarily have to take long. I've seen people who improve their blood pressure within a few weeks when they adopt a healthier diet or start exercising, lose weight, sleep more. I've seen people who were able to drastically cut back on their diabetes medications, sometimes even get off insulin when they adopt healthier lifestyle. So I think the unfortunate time of the COVID may have a silver lining in it, is that we might hopefully realize that we can move ourselves from high risk category, if we are there, to maybe medium risk and maybe even to low risk category by changing our own lifestyle. Stress is another lifestyle factor that has a huge impact on our immune system, especially chronic stress. You know, a little bit of acute stress when you worry about something for a few minutes, that is not going to have any dramatic impact, but stress that's daily, day after day, week after week, month after month, that kind of stress can really suppress our immunity and lead to more susceptibility to infections, and unfortunately even higher risk of developing cancer. So it's quite important that we learn different tools that help us deal with stress and practice them daily, because knowing something and not doing it is not really going to help us. And it's good to have several tools in your toolbox. Not everybody will like to do meditation, for instance. Not everybody will like yoga. So discover what works for you and do it. But a few simple stress-reducing techniques that I found helpful for myself and my patients are, for instance, just journaling, writing down every day 3 things that you are grateful for. And that can help you kind of get your stress off the chest and fall asleep more easily. But the feelings of love, appreciation, and gratitude make our immune system stronger. The opposite is true. When people are stressed, sad, hostile, angry. Those negative emotions have been shown to suppress immune system, but love, gratitude, and appreciation boost it, and you may be less likely to get infections when you have those feelings. So it's good to cultivate it, and it's also good to let others know in your life that you're grateful for them, because that actually boosts their immune system, and then they may tell others how grateful they are for them and boost their immune system. So we can kind of pass this chain of positivity and boost our collective immune systems to overcome not just this epidemic, but just be healthier in the future. I cannot underscore enough how important is our sleep for our immune system. When we sleep, we repair really physically, mentally, and emotionally, and we need enough sleep for that to happen. We really should try to sleep for 8 hours every night, at least 7, but ideally 8. Children need even more sleep, especially teenagers. They may need up to 9-10 hours of sleep. And when that doesn't happen, our immune system gets weaker. There was an interesting study where they sleep-deprived people for one night to 4 hours. So 4 hours of sleep for one night, and the activity of natural killer cells, which are very important part of your immune system that can fight viruses and fight cancer. The activity of these natural killer cells was suppressed by 75% just from one night of sleep deprivation. So imagine what happens to us if we are sleep deprived on a regular basis, which unfortunately many of us are. So we should make sleep our priority. It should not be a luxury. It's really a necessity. And if you don't sleep well, there are many tools that could help you. I find it helpful to set a set time that you go to sleep. That's pretty much the same every night. And also get up around the same time. So then you entrain your body for that rhythm, and your body already expects to go to sleep, let's say around 10 p.m. every single night. So regularity is important. You also want to make sure that your temperature is not too warm, because when your body is feeling too warm, it's harder to fall asleep. You want to set your temperature probably somewhere between 65 and 68 degrees. So it should be cool, but comfortable enough. It shouldn't be frozen either. And make sure your bedroom is dark. Use window shades if you have too much light, because we need darkness for production of a hormone called melatonin in our brain. That is not just important to help you sleep, but it turns out that it's important for our immune system as well. As we get older, we produce less and less melatonin. And one of the theories why older people are not doing as well with this current coronavirus is that they have less melatonin than, for instance, children. So having your bedroom dark will help you make more melatonin. The other important part for your sleep is that you don't drink stimulants like coffee and alcohol. Those are two big enemies of our sleep, and that you avoid looking at electronic screens at least for 2 or 3 hours before going to sleep. The lights that are emanated from electronic screens like computers, TVs, or your phone, it's called blue light. And it's called blue light because your brain basically sees it as if it was blue sky. And it will think that it's time to get up and not time to go to sleep. So do your best to put electronics away for best sleep, and your body will thank you, as well as your brain. Sleep is absolutely important for our brain. During the deep sleep, which happens more the first half of the night, that is important for prevention of dementia, because our lymphatic system in our brain is actively pumping out toxins, including abnormal proteins like amyloid. And when we don't have enough deep sleep, the amyloid may not be removed, and that is one of those factors that contributes to Alzheimer's. Towards the morning, we tend to have more dreams, and that usually correlates with REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, and that is important for emotional health. So we kind of, in our brain, in our dreams, we kind of sort out our emotions from the day before. And if we don't have enough REM sleep, if we don't dream enough, that may increase our risk of anxiety or depression. So not only we need enough hours of sleep, we need all the stages of sleep, we need the quality of sleep. And if somebody gets very disrupted sleep, maybe because it's noisy, maybe their partner snores, or maybe they sleep with an animal, a cat that jumps on the bed and wakes you up, it's really not good for your health, and you should make every effort to make your sleep almost sacred. That really should be your priority. So ask for help if you need some help with sleep, because it is absolutely crucial for your brain and for your immune system. And last but not least, we should be exercising for optimal health, including for healthy immune system. People who exercise on a regular basis are less likely to get infections. But we shouldn't be over-exercising. So when we strain our bodies too much, such as if somebody runs a marathon, that can actually be depleting and cause a multitude of negative effects, including our immune system. So I would suggest during times like COVID to focus maybe more on gentle exercise, and try to do it outdoors, because then you get at least some sunshine and the ambient light, as long as you stay within distance from other people, and don't overdo it. Don't strain yourself too much. Some people, if they exercise too close to bedtime, they may find it hard to fall asleep, because exercise, you pump some adrenaline, and it may be just hard to calm yourself down to sleep. So if that's your case, make sure that you exercise earlier in the day, or if you like to exercise at night, then maybe a restorative yoga is a better choice than some kind of cardio exercise. So play with that a little bit, and you may discover that that will help you sleep better. But people who exercise regularly definitely sleep better, as a general rule. It just must not be overexerting yourself just before bedtime. So as I mentioned earlier, if you're not completely healthy at this time, if you struggle with maybe some extra pounds or elevated blood sugar, this is a study that should give you some motivation to change. And even if you are healthy, this should hopefully give you motivation to keep doing all the right things to stay healthy. And this is an EPIC study that followed 23,000 men and women for 8 years. And it showed that just a cluster of 4 habits: not smoking, exercising 3.5 hours every week, maintaining healthy weight, and eating mostly plant-based diet with enough fiber and very little sugar and fat, those 4 habits resulted in a 93% reduction in diabetes, 81% less heart attacks, 50% less strokes, and 36% reduction in cancer. There's absolutely no medication in the world that will do this. This is the power of lifestyle. That is the best blockbuster medicine, if you will, and it's available to all of us every day. So you can start today, choose perhaps what is your priority, where you should start, and in a few weeks you could be a hugely healthier person who is at much lower risk for getting COVID, but also at the same time at much lower risk for developing heart disease, getting cancer, or developing dementia. Your overall health will be better, and you are guaranteed to feel better.
How long do you think breastfeeding should last to make a difference?
Yeah, ideally at least 6 months. That would be ideal. If you can breastfeed at least partially for up to a year, that would be great. But I would say 6 months is the minimum that would be recommended. It doesn't always happen. I was only breastfed. Actually, I wasn't breastfed at all, because my mom was told back then that a bottle was better, which now we know it's not true. With my own daughter, I only had milk for about 3 months, so it doesn't always happen, but 6 months would be perfect.
And on the opposite side of that, can you over breastfeed your child?
You know, I never heard that would be an issue. So I don't think that's a problem. But I think what is a problem that a lot of young women in America, unfortunately, have to go back to work. You know, in other countries, there is paid maternity leave. I come from Czech Republic. We had 3 years of paid maternity leave, or my friends had 3 years of paid maternity leave. And in most European countries, that's the case as well. So unfortunately, that's, I think, one of those things that I hope that could change in America, so women could spend the time with babies at home. We now know that it's absolutely crucial for their immune system to be able to breastfeed their babies, and that will translate into healthier brain. And I think that's one connection that maybe people do not realize, that healthy immune system is absolutely crucial for healthy brain. If there is a low-grade inflammation, if there is imbalance in the microbiome, that can be the beginning of a depression. That can be the beginning of inflammatory brain conditions and anxiety. And in later ages, you know, that inflammation in the brain is what can result in Alzheimer's dementia. So the connection between immune system and brain is very, very real. And whatever we can do for healthier immune system, we are doing it for our brain health as well.
Another question we have is, are there any fruits that should be avoided due to higher sugar levels?
Any fruits? No, I think, you know, as long, people are unlikely to overeat fruits, but I would stay away from fruit juices, because when you drink the juice, you basically removed the fiber. So if you drink orange juice, that is really like sugar. But if you eat the orange, it contains the fiber as well. And so the effect on your blood sugar from eating the whole orange is much less than if you drink the orange juice. So stay away from juices, but keep eating real fruit. It's unlikely that you will overeat fruit if you have it as a whole fruit. But if somebody has diabetes, there may be some restrictions. So then I would say work with a nutritionist and maybe combine the fruit with some protein or with some healthy fat to keep the blood sugar from rising too much.
On that note, what about cold pressed juices? Are those better, or is it still the same problem?
Cold pressed juices, I never even heard about that. You know, I am not a huge fan of juicing. I think, you know, maybe for some people that's the only way that they get some vitamins, and then I suppose they should at least get that. But I think eating the whole vegetable, whole fruit is so much better for us. You don't want to be discarding the fiber. That's the best part for your microbiome. That's the best part of the fruit or of the vegetable. So for me, the idea that somebody juices it and basically discards the fiber, it's not a good idea.
Should organic or sulfite-free wines be avoided as well?
Avoided? Well, you know, alcohol is not good for our immunity, but a small amount of wine in some studies showed some benefits for the microbiome, but I think we would probably get the same benefits from eating the red grapes that the wine was made from. So I would definitely not encourage anybody to start drinking for any health benefits, but there are some older studies that suggest that a small amount, especially of red wine, may have some benefits potentially through the effect on the microbiome. So I don't think it's the alcohol part. I think it's the part that comes from the red grapes, like the resveratrol and the fiber and the different polyphenols that have the positive impact. And you could get that from the fruit, not necessarily from the alcoholic beverage made from the fruit.
You mentioned the negative effects of undersleeping on immunity, but is it bad to oversleep, and are there any negative effects of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question, you know, and I sometimes wonder if people who are sleeping too much sleep too much because the quality of their sleep wasn't good. So they are trying to make up by the quantity for the poor quality. So to me, that would be a little red flag, and I would want to ask them more questions about their sleep and maybe even consider a sleep study. if there are some other red flags. But in studies, there is what we call a J curve. So too much sleep was also found to be related to poor outcomes. And maybe it is because those people really had an underlying sleep disorder that they perhaps didn't realize that they had, and they were trying to sleep more to make up for it. So 8 hours for adults, I think, is optimal. And by the way, we sleep much less now than we slept maybe a century ago. Ever since we invented electricity, we probably sleep much less. I've read estimates that as many as 2 hours less these days than 100 years ago. So that means that we dropped an entire sleep cycle. We go through certain cycles of light sleep and deep sleep and then dreams. And we should have about 5 of those cycles per night for optimal health. And if we drop 2 hours of sleep, that means that we dropped at least a full cycle of sleep. And maybe that is why we now have problems with Alzheimer's dementia. And I'm sure it contributes to the epidemics of immune diseases.
Earlier you mentioned the clean 15 and a dirty dozen. We were wondering if you could expound a little bit more about that and repeat the website you mentioned.
Yeah. I think it's a wonderful tool. It's an environmental working group, ewg.org. It's a really wonderful organization that is testing different produce for how much pesticides exposure those the produce had, different other chemicals, but they also look at cosmetics, household cleaning products, because a lot of the most horrible chemicals that are the most detrimental to our immune system may be just underneath our kitchen sink or bathroom sink. So they kind of provide guidance to the less toxic types of household cleaning products, less toxic types of cosmetics and creams. So it's a great resource. Did I answer your question, or did I just partially answer it? Yeah.
No, you did an awesome job.
Another question is, how do you recommend dealing with stress specifically related to being isolated at home during the outbreak?
Yeah, I think it's really important to stay connected. So we have been talking about social isolation during COVID. It really should not be social isolation. It should be physical isolation or physical distancing. It really shouldn't be even isolation at all, it's distancing. But it should be physical, not social. We are social beings. We need to speak to friends. We need to connect to other people, our family, and we need to talk and vent and share our joys and share our fears. And that is so important for us. So being in isolation and being alone, that is never good for our health. In fact, we know that it's associated with a higher risk of heart disease and stroke and dementia. So please stay connected. You can just do it through the computer like we are doing right now. So dial your friends and share and talk, and it's good for us.
Supplements can be confusing, and you've also mentioned some potential important supplements today. How does one go about making choices of what is the best supplement for them?
Yeah. So when it comes to, vitamins and nutrients, it's always best to get them from your food. So I want to say that, as much as I sometimes talk about supplements, they really are like the cherry on top of the cake, and the cake is what you eat. And the supplement is just like a little addition to that. And because most of the supplements are not regulated by FDA, you should really work with somebody who is knowledgeable to make sure that you buy supplements from company that is reputable, so that the supplements are not contaminated. There have been cases of multivitamins contaminated with the hexavalent chromium, for instance. I don't know if you saw, you may be too young to have seen it, but there was a great movie called Erin Brockovich several years ago, based on true story. Erin Brockovich was a woman who lived in a place where she noticed that a lot of the neighbors were having cancer, and she decided to investigate it, and it turned out to be related to hexavalent chromium that some local company was releasing to the soil or water. So that the hexavalent chromium was causing the cancer, and there was a case of hexavalent chromium in multivitamins. So it's very important that, because this is not regulated by FDA, that you use a reputable source, and having a practitioner that you work with. Those practitioners usually knows which companies have been tested by third-party testing. There is Consumer Lab is a source online that will give you some idea about which companies are good. So Consumer Lab, you pay some membership, but I don't think it's a lot of money, and at least that's some resource for kind of reputable supplements. But the ones I mentioned today, I mentioned vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C, vitamin A. Even though I kind of spoke a little bit about COVID, they were not tested for COVID, but we know that they have worked for other types of viruses. Vitamin C and zinc has been studied in other kind of viral situations. So we kind of think and hope that they might help us be more resilient for COVID, but it hasn't been studied, so we really cannot say for sure. And I would just tell everybody to eat those foods, the variety of colors, variety of fruits and vegetables, and get those nutrients naturally. The one exception is the vitamin D, where oftentimes, no matter what we eat, because there is really not that much vitamin D in food, we really need the sunshine for that. And coming out of the winter, chances are that even around here, most people will be a little bit deficient on vitamin D. So that's probably the one vitamin that we do need supplement for, most of us.
Dr. Hubkova, this is our last question. We've learned a lot today about how to have a healthy immune system. What do you suggest doing right now to keep us safe during COVID?
So thank you for that question. As I'm sure most of you have already kind of adopted physical distancing, washing your hands for at least 20 seconds. All those things are very important, but I would say stay connected through social media or computer with your friends. Make sure you get your sleep. Don't eat junk food, don't eat processed food, don't drink alcohol. Really take this opportunity to learn more about what your body needs. And one step at a time, every few days, you can take a new goal to accomplish. You can really use this time to transform your health and be healthier for the future and live longer.
Thank you for your enlightening presentation. We appreciate the support of AdventHealth and your time very much.
And now it is my privilege to introduce Mendi Eskew again with her second charity interview of the day. The Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault are here for you, no matter what. They strive to improve the lives of those impacted by sexual abuse and assault, and to prevent sexual violence in our beloved communities. If you need help or know someone who is in need of help, especially during this uncertain time, please call their 24-hour crisis line, 816-531-0233 or 913-642-0233. You can also visit their website, mosca.org, where you can find counseling, learn about sexual abuse prevention programs, or donate and volunteer to make a difference in survivors' lives.
So actually a positive that has come out of this and us doing this interview is we have more time to talk to you. Yay. Yeah, and more time to hear about, who is Cassie Sands and what is MOXA. So I'm going to start with that. Just let us know who you are and how you got to MOXA.
Sure, happy to. I'm Cassie Sands. My role at MOXA is the Vice President of Development. So my role is to help raise the funds that we need to achieve our mission. And our mission is to support survivors of sexual assault and abuse, and then work to prevent sexual violence in our community. So my role is to help raise those dollars, and the dollars that we are typically focused on are grant revenue. So we get a wide mix of government and public and private grant support. And then the other component that we are always working towards is raising our individual and corporate sponsorships and support, individual support. So we do a lot of work, and my team does a lot of work on the government grant side and the grant writing component and grant management. And then really having special events, donor outreach events and appreciation events and stewardship work to really engage more individual and corporate sponsors for our events and just for some projects that we do. Did a lot of giving advice and support to nonprofits who were looking to expand their fundraising efforts and maybe put good tools and administrative supports in place to really professionalize their offices. A lot of times, and you know this because of the work you do, a lot of times personal impact and personal passion is what comes first with nonprofits. And that's hugely important. It drives people's work, and it drives people getting up every day and putting 100% into that work. But a lot of times they need some help putting the professional components in place, accounting and fundraising and that piece of it. So
that's great. So how many clients does MOXA have on average?
Sure. So we have 3 core programs. And so our clients are predominantly in our first 2 program sections. So we have counseling. We provide counseling for adults and children and their families who have been survivors of sexual assault or sexual abuse. And so we see over 1,000 kids and adults and families every year through our counseling services. And then we provide advocacy support. So that's support for survivors after they've been sexually assaulted. Many of them will go to the hospital and get a forensics exam at the hospital. So we're there really from that moment. If they choose to have us in the room with them, we will hold their hand and be with them through that process. And then we, the advocate staff, are there for clients as long as they need us after that. So after a sexual assault, there's a lot of things that can really impact your life. So let's say you need to break a lease. Maybe you were assaulted by somebody in your apartment complex and you need to get out of your lease and move. You need help navigating that. You need help and need support navigating the court process and the criminal justice system, and maybe being interviewed with the police, or you need time off work in order to take care of your mental health or physical health. So really helping you navigate all of that. Our advocates have so many resources and so many skills at really helping people cope. And so the double kind of work of counseling and advocacy is super important after that kind of traumatic event has happened in somebody's life. Then the other component of the work we do is the other part of our mission, which is the education and prevention piece. And so we total on the counseling and advocacy side serve, maybe 2,500 people a year, depending on the year. Our education and prevention side can serve 60,000 plus because we're in so many schools. I think we're in 30 plus school districts, and we go to so many public events every year. So we're really out there helping educate kids as young as kindergarten and all the way up through college with really age-appropriate messaging and ways to engage kids so they understand from early ages body safety and finding a safe adult to talk to, all the way up to our youth-led prevention and Green Dot prevention programming in middle school and high school. It's really talking more about dating violence and appropriate boundaries, really just helping give kids a voice to identify the things they see that don't seem appropriate in their world, and helping find ways that they can step up and influence their friends and peers to make their school safer. So a wide range. I think last year we served almost 70,000 people total.
That's way too many people that need your services. I mean, I'm glad that you're serving and available to that. That makes my heart sad that many people need that kind of care. What does MOXA, the acronym, stand for?
Sure. It's the Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault. It was established 44 years ago as a nonprofit. And so we've been around as a standalone rape crisis center for that long. And that's, we have the reputation and the ability to serve the number of people we do because of the stability and the just the trust that people put in us and have put in us for that many years.
That's fantastic. that you have been around that long, and it's neat that you are there now. I'm curious about how we can help you. So you get the chance to be showcased as one of our charities. So how do you seek help?
Sure. We couldn't do what we do without community support. So there are many ways people can help. I would say one of the biggest ways that people can help is volunteering. So we need, and we have over 200 active volunteers helping us every year. So one of the key components of our work is our crisis line. So the easiest way to get connected with Moxa to get any kind of services is through our 24-hour-a-day crisis line. It's answered anytime, all the time. And we really need staff and volunteers to help do that. And so a big piece of that is we provide 40-hour training. Part of it is online, part of it's in person. So people really feel comfortable being able to provide that kind of service on the crisis line. And then in normal times, not like we're in right now, but in normal times, we're also sending volunteers out to hospitals as the first person that survivors are seeing at the hospital and that's the first person that connects with them at Moxa. And we have volunteers who handle that for us along with staff. So that's a big component. We also have volunteer opportunities for people who may not want to be frontline providing those crisis line in hospital services. We have lots of event support that we need. We have some administrative options. There's really just a wide range. When you're as large as we are and serving as many people, we really need community support to help do that. So volunteering, you can go to our website, moxa.org, to find all of the volunteer information, and we're always looking for new passionate volunteers. And then the other big piece that I think every nonprofit is always looking for is financial support. Sure, you know this is your work as well. We all need the financial support to continue with our mission. And it is one thing because we need the dollars. The other piece is it really shows the community engagement and the community support of the value of our mission.
Great, that's fantastic. Cassie, thanks again. I appreciate your time today.
Wonderful. Well, this was great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's very impressive, and I hope you and I can continue just our personal relationship too in the development process. I appreciate your help.
Absolutely. Yep. I'd love to get together when we can again.
Okay. When we can again, yes. All right. Thanks, Cassie.
Thanks, Mendi.
Hi there, I'm Kayla Rorvig, member of 7 Days Leadership Committee and chair of U Day. I hope you're enjoying U Day so far. Our next activity is a calming yoga session. This session will be led by Mrs. Mendi Eskew. Mendi is a yoga teacher, fitness and outdoor enthusiast, wife and mother to 3 boys. She took her first yoga class in 2001 and has been teaching since 2013. Mendi has enjoyed an active lifestyle since a young age and believes that yoga can guide her students to feel stronger and more open in their body and their mind. So let's take this time to relax and reflect.
Hello, good morning. My name is Mendi Eskew, and I'm so honored to be a part of your 7 Days program here on the U Day, taking care of you, which is so important to take care of ourselves, because as you well know, that when you feel good inside, that goodness that you hold within, it's shared, it's contagious with all those whom you're around. And especially in these days here where we're kind of locked up with our people, that love is needed so much. So yes, this is so important to be able to come to our mats to breathe and be connected within, taking this time for this meditative, moving practice that we will do today, connecting our movements with breath and breath with movements to be able to disconnect from all that's going on around us that we cannot control. What we can control is this right here, this space, this time on our mats to breathe, to disconnect and to reconnect within with what's important to you, your values, your love, your light, your grace, your kindness, compassion. I can go on, all those beautiful qualities that you're gifted. And we find those when we find quiet. We breathe, we create a little bit of space and openness and quiet in the mind. And then when we find that our shoulders are better able to relax and we just find that place of peace. And that's what we all seek. I know we do. So with that, again, thank you for your time. Thank you for including me in this amazing week. Although I wish we were face-to-face in person, this virtual opportunity will be just as good. So with that, let's go ahead and begin our practice. Place your hands on your knees. So to start over, we'll just need a mat. Just make sure you have a mat. If you don't, you're welcome to be on the carpet. Okay, so now we'll start. Take your hands to your knees. Loop your shoulders down and back a couple times just to free up any tightness or tension that you might be holding on to in the body. Good. Take the shoulders down and back and lift through your heart. Find your chin right at the horizon. Feel yourself rooting down through your sits bones, lifting high through the top of your head, your crown. With your eyes closed, first and foremost, I want you to scan your body with the mind's eye. Notice how you're feeling on this day. Mentally, physically, energetically, spiritually, just acknowledge. Our yoga practice is so much about body awareness. When we begin to quiet the mind, we can really see and notice what's going on inside. With our eyes closed, we can think less and feel more. And with that awareness, honoring and accepting you exactly as you are, let's begin to deepen our breath. As you inhale, notice the expansiveness of the belly, the front and side ribs, the back body, drawing the breath all the way up into the collarbones. Once you feel completely and totally full with your lips sealed together, exhale. Listening to the sound, that soothing sound of your exhale breath. Once you find yourself empty, start over again, breathe in. And breathe out. Continue this breath cycle. Letting the inhale find fullness and expansiveness. And letting the exhale serve as an opportunity to settle, soften, and relax with ease. Continue breathing in and out through your nose, creating your sacred space, feeling more present with every breath you take. In this world right now where there's so many things that we cannot control, there's one thing that we can absolutely control, and that is the calm in our heart and our mind. And that's where our meditative practice becomes so vital to our health, our overall well-being. To find that calm, even when you feel like there's a storm brewing all around. Let's take 3 more breaths as we are. And after your 3rd breath, inhale, take your arms out nice and wide. You can blink open your eyes or leave them closed. It's up to you. Allow the palms to connect. And as the palms connect, exhale, thumbs to heart center. Inhale, arms go back out wide and up to the sky. And exhale, thumbs to heart center. On this 3rd one, take your arms out wide, reach high, feel that opening of your heart, your chest. And as you exhale, left hand is going to reach for right knee. Other hand behind your back. Inhale, sit nice and tall, lift, lengthen, and exhale from the core, we twist, start to look back past your right shoulder. Take 3 full breaths here. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms go up to the sky, reach high, and then exhale to the other side we go. Again, take an inhale breath to lift and lengthen through your spine, and exhale, twist, look back past your left shoulder. 3 full breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, take your hands behind you. Lean into the palms of your hands. You can lean back. Notice which shin is in front in this crisscross. Then place your feet in front of you, hip widths apart and parallel. Press down through the palms and let's lift our hips and our hearts. Let the head nestle down and back. Press your palms against the mat and broaden through your chest. Draw those shoulder blades away from one another. Shoulder heads. Good. Another inhale, then open heart, open hips. And exhale, lower down. Now, if you can remember, opposite shin on the front, or opposite leg crossed in the front. And then inhale, let the arms go all the way up to the sky. From here, left hand finds the mat beside you. Right arm, reach it high. And then side body stretch. Breathing a little space and ease in your side body. Tilt your chin up, roll top shoulder back. Good. Continue breathing deeply here. One more breath as you are. And exhale, press that bottom palm down. Inhale, arms both go up. Now switch. Right hand down, left arm up to the sky and side body stretch. Reach and open. Roll top shoulder up and back. Breathing energetically, space into the left outer body line. Feel it, notice it. Good, and then inhale, both arms reach back up to the sky. And exhale, sweep your hands again back behind you, palms ground. Lean into the hands so you can slide your legs both straight this time. Bring big toes to a touch. Press down through your palms and lift your hips for a reverse plank. Let your head nestle back, and again, float your heart higher than your shoulder heads. Internally rotating through the legs, meaning draw your inner thighs, knees in towards one another. 2 more breaths here, creating a little heat and strength in the arms, the chest, the back. 1 more breath here. And then exhale, nice job, lower back down to a seated position. Bring the legs in to reach your arms back up to sky, to lengthen your spine, and now guide your palms forward, and let's come into a tabletop position. From tabletop position, your palms are rooted into the mat. Spread your fingers wide, giving yourself a nice foundation, nice base. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, lift your hips, lift your heart. Pull your shoulders back. Take an extra breath to open up through the heart space. And then exhale together. Let's round in. Draw chin to chest. Tuck your tailbone under. Elongate through the back of the neck and really exaggerate on this first one, that big stretch in your upper back. Through your spine, lift the navel up. 1 more inhale and exhale. Inhale, drop that belly, hammocking through the spine, lift your hips and heart. Now moving with our breath. Exhale, curl round in, and let the inhale lift your hips and heart. Continue this movement, moving at your pace, matching each movement with breath. Inhale to lift hips and heart. Exhale to curl and round in. Move at your pace. Let's do a couple more just like this. Good. And then on the next time that you exhale into your cat spine, curl round in. Keep that roundedness of the spine. Curl all 10 toes under, and let's lift our hips up to the sky for our first downward facing dog. Press down through the palms of your hands and extend length from your wrists through your shoulders all the way up to your hips. Draw your heels closer to the mat, lengthening through your hamstrings, your calves, your heels. Looking between your inner ankles to make sure that your neck is nice and relaxed. Inhale, exhale, bend your right knee. And then let's bend our left knee. And then right and left. I like to take things a little slowly in the beginning here, just to awaken our bodies to the practice to come. Moving slowly, a little more mindfully, we feel more and we're just more aware to how our body's responding to the movement. Good, and then from here, drop your heels both to the mat. Inhale, look forward and shift your body into a plank. Shoulders are over your wrists, so adjust if you need to. Core strong. Most important part about being in a plank here is really stabilizing through this mid-core section to protect and strengthen through our back. So reach forward with your collarbones, reach back through your heels. Zip your pubic bone up towards your navel and your navel towards your spine. Hold here for another inhale. Knees can always go down to the mat. And exhale. Knees up, knees down, your choice. Take your pointed elbows straight back. Let's lower all the way down to our bellies. Once we're flat to the mat, uncurl the toes, pressing through the tops of the feet. I want you to massage your shoulders down and back, squeeze your elbows to your side body, and float your heart up. Lengthening through your spine, opening your chest. Another inhale. And exhale, melt your way down to the mat. From here, press only your upper body up. Round again your spine and drop your hips into your heels, finding a nice stretch in child's pose. A really great place to turn your back onto the outside world and stay rooted, nestled in within. Take 3 breaths here. After your third breath, inhale together. Let's make our way back up to the tabletop. All right, so moving into our next little pose, make sure your hips stay over your knees. Walk your hands forward. Once you've walked your hands forward, lower to your forearms and then lower to your forehead. This is called melting heart pose. Love this stretch if we have any tightness or tension in your shoulders, your upper back. It's a nice way to soften through the chest as well. So just as the name is called melting heart pose, feel that action happening. Just feel your chest, your heart, relaxing, softening towards your earth. Close down your eyes and again, breathe. Full, complete inhalation and exhalation. This is one of my favorite poses. As a nice reminder, our heart's natural state is to be relaxed. And in a pose like this, we can really honor that essence of relaxing through the heart. One more inhale here. And exhale. On your next inhale, let's lift our gaze, look between our thumbs and ripple all the way forward to our bellies again. Bring your elbows directly beneath your shoulders, setting up for Sphinx pose. Place your palms down, pull shoulders back, extend sternum forward. 3 breaths here. One more inhale. And exhale, slide your palms back so they're just beneath your shoulders. Forehead to the mat, curl your toes under. Lift up into a tabletop or a high push-up, top of a plank. And then exhale, hips return to the sky, down dog. Full breath here. Good, and then exhale. Take your hands and walk them all the way back to meet your toes. Once you get to the back of the mat, inhale, lift up halfway with a flat back. Hands to your shins. Look to the top edge of your mat. Pull the shoulders back, extend your sternum forward. Inhale. Good, and then exhale, fold in. Forward fold. Soft bend of the knees. In this forward fold, I'd like you to bend your left knee. Keep your left hand down or fingertips or even fist for a wrist. And then inhale, roll your right arm and your eyes up to the sky. Twist and open. Feel your left foot pressing in, or excuse me, your right foot pressing into the mat so we can really stretch through your outer hip and thigh. Looking up towards your right thumb, one more inhale. And then exhale, switch. Right hand down, bend right knee. Left arm, eyes up to the sky. Roll it open. Good. One more inhale. And then exhale, fold in. Inhale, hands to shins. Lift up halfway. Look to the top edge of your mat. And exhale, fold. With a nice athletic bend of your knees, one vertebra at a time together. Let's ragdoll and slowly roll all the way up. Lift your chest, your shoulders, your chin up, and take a couple massaging shoulder rolls here. And then turn your palms to face out, and then inhale, reach up. Side body stretch. Lower your right arm alongside the body, left arm reaches up, and then bend to the right. Good. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Switch. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up. And then bend, reach to the left, pressing through your right foot. Nice. And then inhale, both arms go up to your sky. Swan dive. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, crawl your hands all the way forward, returning to strong plank. Take an extra breath here. Exhale, ground your knees if you'd like. Otherwise, elbows lower you all the way down. Bent elbows. Uncurl the toes, loop your shoulders back, and again, open up through your heart, inhaling. And exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, lift up into a table or high plank. And exhale, hips to the sky, down dog. Inhale. Exhale, walk your hands again all the way back to meet your feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Flattest back, look forward, and exhale, fold. From here, let's heel toe our feet out a little bit wider. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, drop your hips low, come into a squat. Good. From here, press down through your hands. Inhale, lift your hips back up to the sky. So I'll turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. The hips up, and then exhale, drop back into a squat. Good. And again, lift up. Good. And third one, drop back into your squat and stay low. Left hand down and right arm reaches up to the sky. Twist and open. Good. And then exhale, right hand down. So your right tricep is leveraged up against your right inner knee. Inhale, left arm and eyes up to the sky, open. Inhale, exhale, lower your hands both down to the mat. Inhale, lift those hips high to the sky. Good, and exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, heel toe your feet in so they're hip widths apart and parallel. And bring your hands to your shins, continuing to lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold. Soft bend of knees, take your arms out wide, reach out and up to the sky. Again, side body stretch, left hand alongside body, right arm up. And exhale, side body stretch. And inhale, up to the sky with our arms. Right hand down, left arm reaches and bend. Good. Inhale, both arms to your sky. Turn your palms out, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, knees bend, walk your hands all the way forward, returning to a plank. Inhale, lower to the belly, exhale. Shoulders draw back, heart lifts, inhale. And exhale, lower down. Nice job. Curl the toes under, lift up into, again, a table or plank, and hips to the sky, down dog. This time, I'd like you to take your eyes to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to meet your hands. Once you get there, bring your hands to your shins. I'll turn to face you and lengthen through your spine. And exhale, fold. Good. Bend your knees and sink your hips back, finding an imaginary chair behind the hips. And then inhale, reach your arms forward and up. And then drop the hips a little lower. Draw your navel in and up, shoulders soft. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. And exhale, press down through the feet. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. And exhale, elbows out wide, open through your heart. Inhale, both arms up to your sky. Exhale, thumbs to heart center, coming back to the top of your mat. Inhale, I'd like you to step your left leg all the way back, finding a lunge. Inhale, arms go up to the sky. Exhale, Soften, relax your hands all the way down and back behind you. Interlace your fingers, draw your knuckles back. Inhale, lift through your chest. Find that openness of your heart. Good, another breath here. And exhale, release the bind of your arms. Reach your arms back up and alongside your ears, palms come to a touch. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. We're gonna turn and twist to the right. Left elbow will hook outside of your right knee. Inhale, lengthen spine, thumbs to heart, twist and look up. Option to lower your back knee to the mat or keep it lifted. Core is engaged right here, breathe. Good, one more inhale. And exhale, slowly turn and square your shoulders forward. Inhale, reach all the way up. This time as we exhale, drop your left heel to the mat, open your arms to a T for warrior two. Draw your tailbone straight down and lift high through the top of your head, your crown. Inhale, exhale, turn your right palm up and reverse exhale. Inhale and exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame your front foot. Step your left foot back or forward to meet your right. Inhale, half lift, lengthen, flattest back, and then exhale, fold. Bend your knees, return to your chair, arms go up. Exhale, hips go low. 2 more breaths here. Draw your navel in and up. 1 more inhale. And exhale, press through the feet. Inhale all the way up. We stand, and again, take that extra moment to open up through your heart, your chest. Relax your shoulders. Should feel good in your body. Inhale, arms go back up. And then exhale, thumbs to heart center. All right, so second side of our flow. Step this time your right leg back. Find again that nice clean lunge. Hips are square. I love this pose to really strengthen through the hip and hip flexor and lengthen, especially if you find you're sitting a little bit more than you're used to. All right, so from here, inhale, arms go up to the sky. Exhale, sweep your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Draw your knuckles down, lift through your heart. Open up through your heart, through your chest. Relax shoulders away from the ears. Look up. Good. Feel the breath, moving energy, openness and ease through your body. Good. Then when you're ready, release the bind. Inhale, arms go back up to the sky. And then exhale, palms together, thumbs return to your heart center. From here, turn and twist to your left. So now it's the right elbow that's going to reach and tap outside of your left knee. Inhale, lengthen spine to pull thumbs into heart center. Exhale, twist, look up. Option again to lower your right knee to the mat if you would like an extra little level of support. Otherwise, squeeze your core muscles a little stronger, a little tighter to hold this shape. 2 more breaths. Good, and then slowly retracing our steps. Inhale, reach your arms back up and alongside your ears. Exhale, drop your back right heel to the mat, opening up to warrior two. Arms straight and strong. Look past the first 2 fingers of your left hand. Inhale, turn your left palm to face up. Exhale, reverse. Good, inhale. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands all the way to the top of the mat. Bend your right knee, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Inhale, hands to shins, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees back to that chair pose. Reach your arms forward and up. Drop your hips low, lift your heart high. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice job. Press through your feet. Inhale, grow real tall, reach to your sky. Open the heart, open those shoulders, relax. And then inhale, reach back up. Nice job. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. Take a moment here to pause, to breathe. And exhale. 1 more breath, just like this. And exhale. Nice job. All right, so we'll do that same flow again, but adding on. So from here, step your left leg back. So right knee over ankle. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers, draw knuckles down, lift through your heart. Full breath in and full breath out. Release the bind on the next inhale, arms reach up to the sky, palms reconnect, exhale, thumbs to heart. Turn and twist to your right, left elbow outside of right knee. Lengthen, pull thumbs as close to heart center, look up. Keep your hands together, or if you want more openness in your shoulders, your chest, reach your right arm up, left arm down. Good, another inhale. Exhale, if your arms are open, palms together, inhale all the way back up we go, reach high. And then exhale, warrior two. Look forward to the first, or past your first two fingers of your right hand. Now we're gonna change things and we're gonna add on right here to your right pointer finger. Inhale, exhale, slide your right leg straight, bend your left knee, draw your hips back, and your right pointer finger touches your left big toe. And then inhale, come forward back into your warrior two. Twice more like that. Inhale, exhale, right pointer finger to left big toe. Draw your hips back, your spine is long. And then back up, inhale. Nice job, and last one. Take your finger to your toe, and then lift up back into your warrior two. So I'm gonna turn, so I'm facing you guys. From here, I want you to turn and pivot your toes in. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And exhale, swan dive, fold forward. From this forward fold, just let the heart relax. Think about that melting heart pose. Take another inhale. And then exhale, lift up, or inhale, lift up halfway. Draw your toes out. Toes out, heels in, bend your knees. Find again that squat that we kind of flirted with earlier. Inhale and exhale. Take your hands to your inner thighs. Press your hands into your inner thighs and lift through your heart. Inhale. Now exhale. Drop your right shoulder to the center. Look to the left. Good. And then back up, inhale. And exhale, drop your left shoulder. Look to your right. Good, and back up, inhale. Nice. And twist and lift. Drop the left shoulder for the twist and back up. One more time, both sides, and drop. Good, and lift, and then drop. Nice job, everybody. Inhale, lift through your heart. Exhale, drop into a squat. Drop those hips low. Lift your heart high. Now from here, take your arms out wide. Turn your palms to face up. Relax through your shoulders. Lift your toes so you can feel your feet rooting, grounding into your mat. Core is engaged. Breathe here. Hold with me for 5, for 4. We've got this. 3, 2, drop a little lower. Press through your feet. Now inhale, reach up to the sky. Nice job. Inhale. And then exhale again, bring those toes in, and we take another bow. Excellent work. Inhale, half lift. Good, and then exhale, walk your way all the way back to the top of the mat and switch legs, so I'm with you. Right knee over the ankle. So we're in a lunge. Heel toe your right foot out nice and wide. So your right knee is over your ankle. Press your chest forward, inhale. Good, and exhale, lower your back knee down to the mat. Lift through your heart, inhale. Exhale, pivot your right toes out to about, 2 o'clock. Left palm down, right arm reaches forward, and up and around we go. Turn your palm to face up. Nice way to open up through the hips. Beautiful way to twist through the spine. You can keep reaching your right hand back, palm up, or if you want a little bit more, you can even place your palm gently in your inner thigh and then lean back into it. Take 2 more breaths, whatever you chose to do. Good, one more inhale. And exhale. Alrighty, lower your right palm back down to the mat. Curl your left toes under, lift your left knee. Looking down, bend left knee, step your foot out wide. Parallel with your right foot. Drop those hips, coming back into that squat that we did earlier. Palms together, lift through your heart. Take 2 more breaths here. Good, one and more inhale. Great, and exhale, palms to the mat, zip and lift your hips up to the sky. Heel toe your feet in so they're hip widths apart and parallel again. Hands to shins, lift, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Back to that chair, drop your hips low. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up. Good, core strong, breathe in and breathe out. One more inhale. Exhale, press down through the feet, all the way up we go. And again, open your heart, little baby back bend behind your heart. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. Take a breath here. And breath out. Nice job. All right, let's do all that again on the second side. So right leg, step it back, find your lunge. Nice bend in your back knee. Feel the length of the hip and hip flexor. Inhale, arms up to your sky. Good, exhale, hands behind your back. Interlace, knuckles reach down, heart gaze lift up. One more inhale. And exhale, release your bind. Inhale, arms go back up to your sky. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. Twist and turn to your left. Inhale, exhale, right elbow outside of left knee. Lengthen spine, inhale. Exhale, twist, look up. Good, just like on our first side, stay exactly as you are, or again, give yourself that option to open your wings. Left arm high, right arm low. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach your arms back up and alongside your ears. Take a moment to lengthen. And then exhale, spin your back heel down, warrior two. Inhale, now take your left pointer finger. Inhale, now we're gonna bend our right knee, slide our left leg straight, tap your pointer finger to your right big toe. Hips are back so your spine is long. Now lift back up. Good, and again, take it back. And down, and up. Good, and down. Last one, take it back. Massaging through those hips, and here we go. Inhale, lift your arms up, pivot your toes in. Toes are in, heels are out, swan dive, fold forward. Take your first two fingers, those peace sign fingers, loop them around your big toes both. Inhale, exhale, elbows out wide, fold your torso inside of those strong legs. Elbows splay out wide. Dig down through your feet and zip your inner thighs in and up so you can find more length, strength, and stabilization of your legs. And now think melting heart pose. Soften through your chest and breathe. Nice job. One more inhale. And exhale. All right, here we go. Lift up halfway. Lose the bind of your toes, hands to the mat. Take your toes out wide, heels in. And now come into your squat. And again, bring your hands to your inner thighs. Press gently your palms into the inner thighs. Lift through your heart. Inhale. All right, so take the shoulder dips. Drop your right shoulder, look left, and then inhale. And then switch. Begin alternating, just going side to side. Moving again, whatever pace feels good in your body. I love this pose for so many reasons. I love the quality of your shoulders and your spine, your hips. And then exhale. Once you're even, drop those hips low. Open your knees out wide. Lift through your heart. All right, here we go. Turn those palms out, or arms out wide, palms to face up. Lift your just lift one heel up. It doesn't matter which one. And then lower it down. Now switch to the other heel. Good, and lower down. Now alternate. Just alternating, lifting your heels. Right, left, right. Good. Stretching, strengthening through your feet, which need our love as well. They do a lot for us. And then eventually we're going to get to a place where we lift one heel, leave it. The second heel, leave it. With those heels lifted high, drop your heels a little, or your hips a little lower. Hold here. This is where you might start to feel a little shaky. The temperature might have gotten a little warmer. Let it be, and breathe. Feel free to close down your eyes and notice the breath. It's a nice little lesson to teach us to stay connected and rooted to our breath. Even when things get tricky, when things get hard or challenging, we can breathe through anything. Hold this shape, don't give in, don't give up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We are stronger together. We got it. Hold here. Put a smile on your face. Here's that countdown. You want it? You ready for it? Here it goes. 5, 4, 3, 2. Nice job. Drop your heels. Slide those arms up alongside your ears, sliding your legs straight. Pivot your toes in. A well-deserved forward fold. Draw your hands to the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Good, and exhale, fold. Nice work. And then inhale again, and exhale. On your next inhale together, let's lift up halfway with a flat back and draw your hand, or walk your hands to the top of the mat, heel toeing your left foot up nice and wide. Palms ground. Inhale, send your chest forward, lengthen. Good, and exhale, lower your back knee to the mat, uncurl the toes. Right hand just beneath the face, turn left toes out to 10 o'clock. Left arm up and around, reach to the wall behind you. Palms face up. Stay with this, or again on that first side, if you want to take your left hand to your left inner thigh and lean back into it. Nice work, everybody. How's the breath? How do you feel? Good, let's go one more inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and bring your hand, left palm back down to the mat. Right toes under, lift your right knee. Bend the back knee and step your right foot forward. Drop your hips. Bring your palms together. Inhale, lift through your heart. Pull the shoulders back. Inhale. And exhale. Good, I know this one's a big one. It's tricky with it, especially if your hips are tighter, but this is one of those poses that's so effective. We tend to hold emotional and physical tension in our shoulders and in our hips. This is a great way to find that openness, that space that we need. So when we're finished here, we can just feel a little lighter, a little more open to take on all that this gift of life hands to us. One breath at a time. One more inhale. And exhale, ground your palms to the mat. Again, lift your hips high. Good, and squat. Good, and lift. Let's go 3 more like this. Drop and lift the heart. And hips. Good, and drop those hips, heart lifts. Last one, inhale, lift up. Good, and drop those hips, nice job. All right, so now reach your arms forward. This is gonna be a little challenging. Reach your arms forward. Now out wide, inhale. Exhale, bring your hands back behind you and have a seat. Bring the soles of your feet together. Hands ground down behind you to help you grow tall through your spine. Inhale, and then leading with your heart, lean forward. Just let your knees drop open wide, sternum reaches forward. Spine is tall, so there's no collapsing in the lower back and the belly. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice work. One more inhale to lengthen here. And as you exhale, now guide your hands in front of you. Place your palms to the mat. Pull your shoulders back and press your sternum forward. If you're a little bit more flexible, you could absolutely reach a little bit more forward. Otherwise, just pause in that place where you know that you're working. You know you can feel something's happening, and that's where I want you to stay with breath. And from here, send your chest forward, lift all the way up. Nice job. We'll take our left leg out at an angle. Bring your right foot into your inner thigh. Take your left hand outside of your left hip. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Inhale. Align your heart with your knee and your toes. Now reach forward. Reach for those feet. Take your hands to the outside of your leg line, your ankle, your foot, your shin. Grab something, lengthen more. Inhale, exhale, soften and surrender into the fold. Feel your right hip drawing back, so there's a nice stretch going on in your right side body. Continually lengthening your spine as you inhale and softening as you exhale. Let's take 3 more breaths here. One more inhale. And exhale, tuck your chin, round your spine, and slowly roll it all the way up. One of my favorite things here to lift and open up through the hips and heart. Take your right hand behind you, left arm reaches forward toward your toes, palm up. Press through your back hand, lift your hips and your heart. Let your top shoulder melt down and back, let your head relax. One more in-breath. And exhale, drop your hips to the mat. Pick up your left foot and cross it over the right. Bring your left heel high on your right outer hip and thigh. Right arm wraps tightly around left knee. Back hand grounds behind you as an anchor to press down to lift your spine, your crown a little taller. And then exhale, twist, look back. Navel in, 3 breaths. One more inhale, and exhale, slowly release. Lean back into your hands just enough to uncross. Send your right leg out long and in an angle. This time left foot nestles into your right inner thigh. Take your right hand behind you. Left arm reaches high to the sky. Grow tall. Turn and shine your heart toward your knee, your toes, and then reach forward, reach, 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 and then let your heart soften. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, surrender, soften and fold in. And just think about this, just right here, right now. You have nothing to do but to breathe. Take this gift that you've been given, this opportunity to just nourish your mind, your heart, your soul with the gift of stillness, with peace. Let's take 3 more breaths. Good, one more inhale. And exhale, tuck your chin, and together let's slowly roll it all the way back up and take your left hand outside of your hip behind you, right arm forward, palm up. Press down through your palm, inhale, lift and open. Shoulder nice and relaxed. One more inhale and exhale. Nice job. Lower back down. Now let's go ahead and take our right foot, bring it high up on our left outer hip and thigh. Wrap your left arm around right knee. Ground your back hand down as a kickstand here to root down and to grow tall. Inhale. From the core we twist. Look back past our right shoulder. Core strong. Breathe. Good, another inhale and exhale. All right, we come forward. Lean back into your hands and uncross your legs. We're gonna lower all the way down to our back. So extend your legs long, heels at the top of the mat so you have room to lower all the way down. And then once you're down, reach your arms up and alongside your ears and embrace a full total body stretch, lengthen, big toes to touch, drink a breath in. And through the mouth with an audible sigh, let it go. Good. Another breath just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Nice job. Bend your knees one at a time. Root down through your feet. Lift your hips just enough to level out your low back flat to the mat. Bring your knees one at a time into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and let's curl our forehead into our knees, coming into a tight little ball. Inhale. And exhale, melt your shoulders and your head to the mat. and then place your feet down to the ground. Arms alongside your body, palms down, press through your feet. Inhale, lift your hips and heart. Coming into this bridge pose, let your glutes be soft. You can keep your hands as they are here or walk your shoulders, your arms underneath your body, and again, find that inner lock of your fingers. Great way here to open through the front lines of your body, creating some space and ease and openness. Let's take 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Release the bind of your hands and walk your shoulders under and arms from underneath you. Once your hips are grounded, bring your knees in towards your shoulders so your knees are out wide. Flex your feet and lift your ankles directly over your knees, and then let your arms reach straight up to the sky and capture the outside edges of your feet, finding a happy baby stretch. Great way to neutralize through your spine and to really find that ease in your hips. Ankles over knees, hold here for 3 breaths. One more inhale, and then exhale. Bring the soles of your feet together, open your knees out wide like a butterfly. Inhale, and then exhale. Release your hands from your feet, lay the blade edge of your feet flat to the mat. Circle sweep your arms out wide and up and alongside your ears. Inhale, and exhale. One at a time, we extend our legs out nice and long. Let your feet be wide. So if your heels or your feet are on the mat, the outside edges of your mat. Inhale, and then exhale. Take your arms down and alongside your body. Turn your palms to face up. Lift your chest up off the mat so you can comfortably relax through your shoulders and let everything melt. Coming into this most important part of our practice, Shavasana, allowing our bodies to completely let go, trusting in the earth to support us, allowing our bodies, our minds to absorb all the benefits of this healing, nourishing practice, and just let go here. And now slowly begin to wiggle through your fingers and your toes, drawing awareness back within your body and your breath. And from this gentle place, slowly bend your knees and roll to either your right or your left side, curling into a fetal position. Taking a moment here just to savor this moment with gratitude, this moment of stillness, before moving back into the fullness of the gift of this our day. And then using your hand to help you all the way up, let's come all the way up to a seated position with our legs crossed in front of us. And from this place, inhale, arms reach out wide and all the way up to the sky. Allow your palms to connect, and as they do, exhale your thumbs into your heart center, and then bow your head gently to look within your heart. As you look within your heart, see that space filled with light, and know that that light is love, and that love and light is meant to be shared. So on this day, be the reason someone smiles. Be the reason someone feels loved. It is from the love and light in my heart to each and every one of yours. We bow together to say namaste, honoring the love and light in each another. Thank you so much for coming together and sharing in this practice. It is with much gratitude, again, for me to be a part of this special program that you have. So go out and share your love, your light, your kindness. I hope we meet again soon. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
On behalf of all of us from the U Day Committee, thank you so much for joining us today. We want to especially thank Dr. Hubkova and Mendi Eskew for sharing their knowledge with us, and Mindy Corcoran for her great discussions with our two amazing local charities. We hope that you are able to take away significant information and tips that will help you during this time.
We would also like to thank Real Media KC for helping us to create a meaningful virtual experience for 7 Days U Day 2020. And extra gratitude to all our sponsors.
Hi, we hope you've enjoyed our past 7 Days related events. Tune in to our Give 7 Days Facebook page tomorrow for our Onward Day presentations, and then again on Monday, April 27th for our final day go, featuring our Interfaith Workshop. Thank you for joining us.